Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Nick, and this is day 2 of our huge marathon thing that I got going on. So today, since it is March, I decided not to start off with a review episode today, but what I am going to do is I'm going to try to tell you guys as much as I can about this college bracket thing. Yeah, March Madness. Here we go. Now, without further ado, let's get on with our show. It's me, JPop4321. Now, before I begin, I do want to note that the bracket has already been somewhat updated. The first round is already done. It is complete. However, I do want to point this out here. I'm not going to be doing it. This is what I wanted it to be, okay? I don't know how it all ended. This is how I think it's going to be. So, without further ado, let's start off with that first 4 rounds. Okay, so up first we have Middle Tennessee versus St. Mary's. Now, looking back on the St. Mary's, I'm just going to go with, what I think of the records here. St. Mary's... The Gales have come out of nowhere. Gales as in G-A-E-L. They've come out of nowhere. They were second in the West Coast Conference, right behind number 1 seed Gonzaga. So, yeah, St. Mary's has something going for them. However, their opponent, Middle Tennessee, I think may have... Yeah, so St. Mary's, California, that's one thing. Middle Tennessee, on the other hand... the Blue Raiders, they actually finished first in the Sun Belt Conference. So I think that's pretty cool. Record-wise, they are, of course, 28-25, 27-6. 28-5, 27-6 Tennessee over St. Mary's. But without knowing the outcome of the game... I have to go with Middle Tennessee on this one. So Middle Tennessee gets my votes. Next we have Liberty versus North Carolina A&T. Now Liberty, now the Flames, they've done pretty. They haven't done really the best. They haven't done the best. They were second to last, but they just barely got in. I mean, they were 6-10. I mean, how is that even possible? How can you even get that? How can you get a 15-20 team automatically go in? I don't know. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to take the North Carolina A&T Aggies for this one. So, NCAA Aggies get my pick on this on that one. So that. Next, we have Boise State and LaSalle. Now, knowing that Boise State and the Broncos are basically the only one to get a pony thing on them, that's a step up here. But, again, Boise State and LaSalle. These guys... I think they've done pretty well, 21-10, 21-9. But I'm going to take Broncos over Explorers here, so yeah, Boise State gets my pick. And finally, LIU Brooklyn versus JMU. Now, I think I've heard of LIU Brooklyn before, but I've never heard of this JMU team. It is actually James Madison University and the Dukes versus Long Island Blackbirds. And looking at this record here, I think the strong suit has to go to the Long Island. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Long Island on this one, and they're gonna be moving on for me. So first 4 on to round 1. Okay, round 1. This one's going to be a little bit quick, so let's see how fast we can get through this. Kansas over Western Kentucky. I gotta go with Kansas on this one. Yeah, Kansas definitely has my vote. North Carolina versus Villanova. Gotta go with NCU. Well, UNC actually, University of North Carolina. VCU over Akron. I'm gonna have to go with VCU over Akron. What was VCU again? The Rams and the Zips. I gotta go with let's see. Sorry. I gotta go with VCU on this one. I think VCU has a chance this year. So VCU. Michigan versus South Dakota State. I gotta go with Brady's Michigan. Wolverines. I think it's Michigan Wolverines. I don't. Okay, yeah, it is Michigan Wolverines. Okay, moving on. UCLA versus Minnesota. Gotta go with UCLA on this one. So, yeah. Obama picked Minnesota over UCLA. Big shocker, apparently. Florida, Northwestern State. Gotta go with Tim Tebow's Florida. Nominated for a Kids' Choice Award, by the way. He's nominated for Best Male Athlete, which is tonight. San Diego State versus Oklahoma. Gotta go with the underdog Oklahoma. Georgetown versus Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast, their first one. They gotta have more of this, so Georgetown has the win here. And Georgetown. That is the first. That is the and right there. That's the first round for the South Division. On to the West. So Gonzaga versus Southern University. Funny story. Kid president, whoever, I don't know what his actual name is, but the kid president kid, he actually picked Gonzaga to win it all. But you know, gotta at least put him here. So I say Gonzaga, or Gonzago as he puts it. Definitely moves on to the second round over Southern University. Pittsburgh versus Wichita. Gotta go with Pittsburgh here. Wisconsin, Ole Miss. Gotta go Wisconsin. Alright. I'm sorry, I'm making sure I don't accidentally stop this. Kansas State over Boise State. Yeah, Kansas State, Boise State. Gotta go with Kansas State here. Arizona Belmont. Gotta go with Arizona on this one. New Mexico Harvard. I'm a Massachusetts guy. I gotta pick Harvard on this one. Notre Dame versus Iowa State. Gotta go with Notre Dame. Ohio State versus Iona. Gotta go with Ohio State. And that is my prediction for the West. On to the first round for the East. We have Indiana versus LIU Brooklyn. Versus Long Island Brooklyn. President actually picked Indiana to go all the way, so I gotta go with Indy, you know. So I'm gonna go with Indy. I'm gonna go with them on this one at least. NC State versus Temple. Gotta go with Rhett and Link's NC State. UNLV, which is like Nevada, Las Vegas versus California. Gotta go with the Cal Bears here. Gotta go with Cal. Syracuse, Montana. Gotta go with Syracuse. Butler versus Bucknell. Gotta go with Butler. Marquette versus Davidson. Gotta go with Marquette. I'm not even listening why I want them to win. I mean, they sound like good teams, you know. Yeah, circle that. Illinois versus Colorado. Gotta go with the Fighting Illini. Or Illy, I'm not sure. Illin? I don't know. Miami, Florida versus Pacific. Gotta go with Miami. So that's, there you go. That's the East first round. On to the first round for the Midwest. Louisville versus NC at A&T. NC A&T, I'm sorry. Gotta go with Louisville on this one. So, Louisville. We are. Colorado State versus Missouri. Gotta go upset Missouri. I like Mrs. Chance here. Mizzou. Oklahoma versus Oregon. I'm gonna go with the Ducks on this one. Oregon. St. Louis, New Mexico State. Gotta go with NM State. A few upsets here. I don't have much. Memphis versus Middle Tennessee. I'm gonna go with Memphis on this one. Gonna go. I think like this. I think the quote unquote Grizzlies are gonna go pretty far. Michigan State versus Valparaiso. I don't know. Michigan State. Michigan State. Spartans. Creighton versus Cincinnati. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati on this one. Albany, New York versus Duke. You gotta go with Duke. And there you have it. There's the first round. There's my personal first round. Now we move on to the second round. And this is where things get a little bit crazy. Alright, so up to the south of the second round. Kansas versus UNC. I think UNC is definitely going to pull an upset here. So I'm going to go with UNC for second round. VCU, Virginia Commonwealth versus Michigan. I like Michigan's chances, so I'm going to go with Michigan. UCLA versus Florida. I like the Bruins' chances, and Florida doesn't seem to have it, so I'm going to go with UCLA. Oklahoma versus Georgetown. Oklahoma definitely has a few people. Oklahoma, I think, definitely has the upstart here, so big upset, I don't know, but Oklahoma's got to take this one. So, yeah, there's South. Alright, so for West, we have Gonzaga versus Pitt. I'm going to go against the kid president here, and I am actually going to vote for Pitt on this one. I think Pittsburgh definitely has a thumbs up on this one. Big upset as now there's only 2 number 1 seeds left. Because I knocked out both of them with both the 8 seeds. I knocked out 2 of them with 8 seeds. Wisconsin versus Kansas State. I'm going to go with Wisconsin on this one. Wisconsin definitely has the win here. Arizona versus Harvard. I think Harvard may have an upset in them, so you know, they beat New Mexico, they're gonna have a second one, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Harvard on this one. I'm gonna go with Harvard. What else? And finally, Ohio State and Notre Dame. I'm gonna go with Fighting Irish here. I'm gonna go with the Fighting Irish on this one. So there we go. Okay, up next, Indiana versus North Carolina State for the East. This is a tough one here because I'm either going to vote against the president or I'm going to vote against Rhett and Link. Oh, it just gave me this Paw Sox thing here. You have your name on it, sort of. Oh yeah, my misspelled name. I don't know if I did this, but apparently they spelled my name, my last name, ASHUOLL. Ashul? casual. I don't know. I don't know if it was my fault or their fault. I don't know. But Indiana versus North Carolina State, getting back to on topic. I'm going to have to vote with Rhett and Link on this one and go with NC State. So, yeah, there you have it. The third number 1 seed going out of the tournament. So, all that's left is Louisville, but you'll see what happens to them later. Cal versus Siri. I gotta go with Cal on this one. Cal definitely has some potential here. Butler versus Marquette. I'm gonna go another upset Butler. Illinois versus Miami. Sorry, Fighting Illinois, but I'm gonna go with Miami on this one. I think Hurricanes definitely have something that a lot of these other guys don't. Oh, sorry about that. Moving on, Midwest second round, aka the round of 32. Louisville versus Missouri. I know, Louisville versus Missouri, you're thinking, okay, Missouri's a 9-seeded team. You know, I've picked 8-seeded teams most of the time, but now this is the first time I actually picked a 9-seed. So, actually, I'm going to go... I think Louisville definitely has a chance. So, yeah, they could be the only team who actually is the number 1 seed and moves on to the Sweet 16. Oregon versus New Mexico State. Gotta go with the Ducks on this one. Memphis versus Michigan State. I'm going to go with the Spartans. I'm going to go with the Spartans in this one. Cincinnati versus Duke. Again, going with Duke. And there you have it. That is who I think is going to go into the Sweet 16. But we are not done yet. We're into the Sweet 16. Let's see who moves on to the Elite 8. South. Now, since we are at 16, I'm going to go Southwest, then East Midwest. Afterwards, we're just going to go, who goes to the Final Four, and then the champion at the end. So, first off, the South. University of North Carolina versus Michigan. I'm going to go with North Carolina. North Carolina definitely has the potential to at least make it to the Elite 8. UCLA versus Oklahoma. It's got to be UCLA. So I pick UCLA there. Pittsburgh versus Wisconsin. Pitt definitely has it in them to win. So I'm going to go with Pitt on this one. Harvard versus... And again, this is the West here. Harvard versus Notre Dame. It's hard for me to pick against Harvard, but I think the Sweet 16 is as far as they're going to get this year. I don't see how they can do any better. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame on this one. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go with Notre Dame on this one. If they get to the Elite 8, I will be surprised, okay? So there you have it. There's the first 4 of the Elite 8. Now, the second half of the Elite 8, East and Midwest. North Carolina State over Cal. This time I'm actually going to have to vote against Rhett and Link, and I'm going to go with Cal giving NC State an upset. Which leaves... And then Butler, Miami. It's going to be Miami. It's going to be. It will be Miami. So, yeah. Good for Miami there. Louisville versus Oregon. Louisville's out. Oregon is moving on. So there go the 1 seeds. Michigan State versus Duke. Duke, definitely Duke. So there you have it. There's my Elite 8. And what about the Final 4? So here's where we're at. University of North Carolina versus University of California, Los Angeles. AKA UNC versus UCLA. I'm going to go with Bruins over Tar Heels on this one. I think UCLA definitely has a champion within them. So I'm going to go UCLA wins the South. For the West, Pittsburgh versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame, even though they got the 7th seed, is showing promise as they are finally getting their own division. I'm going to go with Notre Dame on this one. I think they've got it. Next, Cal versus Miami. University of California, Berkeley definitely has what it takes against this Miami team, so I'm going to go with Cal. And finally, Oregon versus Duke. I'm going to go with the upset and put number 12 Oregon over Duke. I'm going to go with that. So, yeah, there you have it. My Final Four for 2013. UCLA, Notre Dame, California, and Oregon. So, what about the championship? So here we go. What I'm going to be doing now is Final Four and the championship game. So, those 3 games. UCLA versus Notre Dame. The Bruins and the Fighting Irish. They have potential. I like these 2 teams. But I'm going to have to go with UCLA on this one. I think they have the skills. They have what it takes to defeat this number 7 team. And I think number 6 definitely can move on to the championship round. I think California definitely is showing potential. Speaking of California, what about California versus Oregon? This is where I think the Ducks' run has to come to an end. So it's going to be... I have to go with Cal on this one because, you know, Cal over Oregon, it's got to be that. I mean, the Ducks do have potential to be a surprise into the final round, but I'm going to go with Cal on this one. So it's UCLA versus Cal, and... You know, again, this is a championship right now for California, but who gets the true title? Will it be Los Angeles or will it be Berkeley? In the battle between University of California teams, my pick for the 2013 NCAA champion is going to be UCLA. I like Los Angeles' I like the bracket, the lineup that UCLA has, so I am going to say that UCLA has the best and will definitely pull off at least 1 or 2, at least like 1 or 2, like maybe 1 upset or something like that, maybe 1 or 2, but they definitely have what it takes to win, so 2013 belongs to UCLA. So there you have it. That is my take on what I think should happen and what probably should have happened for the national championship game. If I get any of these wrong, I will update this and basically make a different section of the video that I put it in. This will be its own section of a video if I get anything wrong. So stay with me on this one. Anyway, that will do it for me. Next video will definitely be the review episode. Or it could just be this, issue number 3. So, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. So long.